YouTube.
YouTube, yes.
YouTube, no, it's no sound.
Just video.
Glenn.
Whatever. They're doing it through YouTube.
I.
Well, everyone's saying my stuff. Right?
I'm gonna play with Jen.
You're selling it. I'm letting you drill it, and then plus to make another drill, and I'll put it there.
Where's the hammer?
Put it
There?
That's just one tooth. You need one little experiment to see if that works. And he goes, don't worry, I won't charge you for what? Come on there.
Somebody's going to be able to get both of us.
Should I turn my camera on?
Last night, Jason, when you
Welcome, everyone. I'm going to spotlight Caitlin and Jordan so you can all see them and wish them Mazal Tov. Our service will start shortly.
Size. Such a difference in size. That's white. It looks like that's gray.
Let's be open. I had it on my Facebook. No. No, they took a picture before they came.
Like, put it in your mind. Maybe. Oh, look, that's so much better. That is better. I wanted to see Bro, to see Abby. I bet you $10 straight is. Has her camera off. Oh, look, Gabby's on. Gabby. Lewis. Lewis to everyone.
Caitlin and Jordan, you are welcome to welcome your guests. Out
Hello,
loud.
everyone. Hi.
Hi.
Oh, my God.
How did this happen? Oh, look at that.
Right there. Top left.
Turn the light behind us on. You know, the overheads.
Oh, I see Aubrey.
He's right here.
No.
All right,
I realized
hands.
it's like 20 minutes.
Hey. Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and welcome to Congregation Beth Chaim. I'm Ann Berman. I'm the Director of Education. If you have any technical issues during the service, please feel free to use the chat to chat me. We have muted you all to start our service. There will be times during the service where Rabbi will ask you to unmute. And if you have the ability, you should do so. So thank you all so much, and Mazal Tov to the Grodsky family.
Joyce. We lost Joyce.
Joyce Kalstein, a longtime member of our congregation, will be joining us in a moment to officially welcome us.
So we'll start with the opening song while we wait for Joyce. Oh, there she comes. So Jordan and Caitlin will just have you mask up and return to your seats for a moment while Joyce welcomes everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Joyce Kalstein, and on behalf of Congregation Beth Chaim, it is my sincere honor to welcome you to our Shabbat service this morning to celebrate with the Grodsky family as Caitlin and Jordan are called to the Torah. We want to maintain a warm and welcoming feeling for these services and create a sacred virtual space that will inspire prayer. For those on Zoom, please help us by staying muted unless the clergy invites you to unmute and participate. You are welcome, however, to write messages of congratulations and encouragement in the chat box. And while we will not always be able to hear one another, we would love for everyone on Zoom to sing with us. All of the liturgy will be displayed on the screen to help you follow along. For those praying in person, we ask you to sing in your hearts to keep our clergy safe. Although we are physically separated, we are all one community in prayer and celebration. If you have any trouble with the technology, our Director of Lifelong Education, Ann Berman Waldorf, will be happy to assist you. Thank you for joining us in prayer and celebration this morning.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Kol hashama hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol hashama hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Hello, my name is Adina Blum. I'm the rabbi of Congregation Beth Chaim. I'm joined by Stuart Binder, our cantor, and you've already met Ann Berman Waldorf, our director of lifelong learning. It is such a pleasure to be with all of you, some of you in the sanctuary and many others on Zoom, to celebrate our B'nai Mitzvah this morning. To start us off, we have a very special blessing shared by Elisa's cousin, Rabbi Todd Silverman of the Toro Synagogue in New Orleans. And thanks to the miracle of Zoom, we'll hear from him now.
Morning, everyone. Morning, Jordan. Morning, Caitlin. Hey. And good morning, Elisa and Jason and Aunt Marcia and everybody, and Shabbat Shalom to you all. It really is quite a miracle to be here, whatever here might mean these days. Your mom, Jordan and Caitlin, your mom asked if I might be able to give a blessing, because that's sort of my wheelhouse also, and I would have loved to be there with you all celebrating this weekend. And really, I kept on thinking about that there are two words that you might be thinking about also, maybe at least one of them, because this is a big day, and that's the idea of reflection and projection, right? Like looking backwards and also looking forwards. And I bet for the two of you, you're thinking back a lot, reflecting about like all the work it took to get there, all of the things you had to put on pause for certain things to get you there, all of the people that you had to team up with, whether they drove you or encouraged you or annoyed you into practicing whatever it might have been. And also you might be like projecting, like about how you're going to celebrate and about what it's going to be like when you don't have to do all of this stuff at these times during the week and taking all these steps, and you get to sort of encourage other people and just, you're looking forward to that. Your parents are also doing a lot of reflecting right now, because I would bet, knowing at least one of them my entire life, that they are not quite sure how those 12 seconds since you were probably born in their mind's eye, how those passed. And All of that reflection is happening right now, and also a lot of projection from everybody who's here, because we're going to hear you be leaders, and we're going to hear you teach Torah, and we're going to hear you share your thoughts and your process. And then all of us are going to project a little bit about what it means to have you all do that for the rest of your lives, to our benefit and to the benefit of the entire world. So I don't know quite what the blessing to give is, because today, on the day of your Benot Mitzvah, you all are the blessing. And so I'm really proud to be here and to watch all of this happen. I hope you love it. If you accidentally start having fun, that's not a mistake, and you should ride that. And I say that as a professional. So Mazel Tov, Shabbat Shalom, and good luck. It's going to be over before you know it.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Silverman. We now invite Caitlin and Jordan's parents, Elisa and Jason, to offer their blessing.
We can't believe this day is finally here. It's obviously not what we expected, but seeing so many family and friends on Zoom fills our hearts with joy. Thank you all for being here. On this day, along with every other day, we feel truly blessed for the love you have given us and examples you provide for us. You have taught us to be more loving, more patient, and more understanding. We are so proud of who you are today and the young women you are becoming. Jordan, you are smart, kind, and comfortable being you. Balancing school, softball, friends, and studying for your bat mitzvah over these past few months has not been easy, but you have persevered. We are so proud of how hard you've been working. It's a pleasure to watch you play softball and grow as an athlete. We've loved watching you flourish as a chef, and I personally love that you enjoy cooking for the whole family.
Caitlin, you are independent, determined, confident and kind, and becoming ever so sassy. Like your sister, you have balanced all your responsibilities wonderfully these past few months. You are amazing. We are so glad that you have been able to get back to dance, and we loved watching you compete this season. You have worked so hard, and it shows in your performances. We love watching both of you with your friends. We are so grateful that you have a group of friends who support each other through good times and bad. Jordan and Caitlin, this is our prayer and our blessing for you. May you embrace life to its fullest. May you always love what you do, believe in the power of your potential, and remain considerate and loving of others. May you continue to meet life's challenges head on with strength, pride, and confidence. May you have the courage and good judgment to make good choices in your lives, like I have. May you always be secure in love and admiration of your family and friends. May you continue to grow and learn and be your own individual persons.
May you always remember to be empathetic towards others and appreciative of what you have. May you be blessed with patience and understanding, with wisdom and compassion in your mind and heart. May you one day fully appreciate the extraordinary gifts you've been given of empathy, kindness, intelligence, and beauty. As twins, you have a unique relationship with each other. May you continue to nurture this special bond and never allow anyone or anything to weaken it. And most importantly, may you always know that no matter what problems you face, you will always have our help, support, and love. You have brought us more joy and happiness than you will ever know. We are so proud and honored to be your parents.
All right, and now, first round of hugs and kisses. There's more to come, but now we need our tali tot, the prayer shawls, for each of our Benot Mitzvah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tivanu lahitatef b'tzitzit.
Amen. All right, let's get those tali tot on. And because we're so excited to be celebrating all together, thank God we reached this special time and occasion. When you're ready, we can't wait to hear the Shehechian.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'hegianu lazman hazeh.
Together we say, Amen. All right, another round of hugs and kisses, but certainly not the last. And when you're ready, Caitlin, you'll start our service off with the English reading.
Each of us enters this sanctuary with a different need. Some hearts are full of peace and gratitude, overflowing with love and joy. They are eager to confront the day to make the world a better place. They are recovering from illness or have escaped misfortune. We rejoice them. Some hearts ache with sorrow. Disappointments weigh heavily on them. Families have been broken. Loved ones have lied on a bed of pain. Death has taken a cherished loved one. May our presence and caring bring them comfort. Some hearts are embittered. Ideals are betrayed and mocked. Answers sought in vain. Life has lost its meaning and value. May the knowledge that we too are searching restore our hope and renew our faith. Don't let me fall as a stone upon the hard ground, and don't let my hands become dry as the twigs of a tree when the wind beats down the last leaf. And when the storm raises dust from the earth with anger and howling, don't let me fall. I've asked for so much, but as a blade of your grass in a distant wild field, let's drop a seed in the lap of the earth and dies away. Sow in me your living breath, as you sow a seed in the earth. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lesevi bina lecha ben yom uben laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokei achivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam sokev kufufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rokat haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamachane mitadei gaver. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam mabish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten laya ef koach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavir she'enai me'enai u'numai me'afapai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani B'Tselem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani bat korin. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozir Yisrael begvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam otir Yisrael b'tfara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Amen. We'll now hear from Grandpa Al Grodsky on Zoom.
Good morning. There are 8 degrees in the giving of tzedakah, each one higher than the one before. To give grudgingly, reluctantly, or with regret. To give less than one should, but with grace. To give what one should, but only after being asked. To give before one is asked. To give without knowing who will receive it, although the recipient knows the identity of the giver. To give making known one's identity. To give so that neither the giver nor the receiver knows the identity of the other. To help another to become self-supporting by means of a gift, a loan, or by finding employment for the one in need.
We ask everyone to please rise in body or spirit.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמך רבה מברך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמך לקודשה בריחו. אלא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמא, ואמרו אמן.
We'll now hear from Grandma Hetty Gradsky.
You are praised who rolls out the rough raw clay of the universe into small, delicate vessels of light. And from nothing at all, we could perceive in a world that has turned old, a shimmering new creation right before our eyes, made this moment just for us. How much of life reveals your presence? How much Torah unfolds from each new flower, from each new wave that breaks upon the sea. You are praised who forms from the clay that cloaks our lives, the delicate vessels which contain our light.
We'll now hear from Aunt Diane Silverman.
She didn't type this like I did.
It's the base. That was in purple.
Yeah. Put your mask on.
Love your neighbor as yourself, you said.
What?
And light blinded we saw. That inner and outer worlds are one, as you are one. You spoke and we wrote. You reached for you down the centuries. Your light moving before us. We are climbed, fell back, and climbed again. Your Sinai of life.
Baruch atah Adonai, habocher b'amo Yisrael be'ahava.
Please rise.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shem kevod malchuto leolam va'ed.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך בשופתך ובקומך. וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצותי והייתם קודשים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We'll now hear from Aunt Kathy Pittigoff.
Life without integrity is like loosely hanging threads, easily fraying from the main cloth, while in acts of piety, we learn to understand that every instant is like a thread raveling out of eternity to form a delicate tassel. We must not cast off the threads, but weave them into the design of an eternal fabric. Each day points to eternity. The fate of all time depends upon a single moment.
Yachad
rise for the Amidah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Hasadim Tovim Ve'Konech HaKol Ve'Zocher Hasadi Avot ve'Imahot Avegu Livnei V'Nehem Laman Shamo Bahava Mela Ozer Umashia Umagen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham Bezra Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Loshia Morid Hatal Mechayel Chaim B'Chesed Mechaye HaKol Barachamim Rabim Zomeh Noflim Verofei Holim Umatir Asirim Kayem Umato Lishnei Avar Mihamo Haba Givuro Umidomela Melech Memi Chaye Umatmia Yeshua B'nei Eman Ata L'Chayot HaKol Baruch Atah Adonai Mechaye HaKol.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמכתישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו ומלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברי עולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברי עולם. בני יבין, בני ישראל, Ohilei Olam, Ohilei Olam, V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, Lasso et HaShabbat, Ledorotam beri Olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et HaShamayim, ve'et haaretz, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, lasso et HaShabbat, ledorotam beri olam. Uvayom hashvi'i, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, lasso et HaShabbat, ledorotam beri olam. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw near to life, to peace, and to joy. May we find true rest, holiness in our deeds, worth in our Torah study. Let us feed on the love of goodness. Let us drink from the love of goodness. Restrain our thirst for excess, and cleanse our hearts to serve life well. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw near in life, in peace, and in joy.
Caitlin and Jordan are welcome to take a rest as we turn to our prayer for peace. Sim Shalom.
Sim, sim, sim shalom, sim shalom tova uvracha. Sim, sim, sim shalom tova uvracha. Chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. Barchenu yotzreinu kulanu kechad be'or panecha. Sim, sim, sim shalom. Sim shalom tova uvracha. Sim, sim, sim shalom tova uvracha. Ki ve'or panecha natata lanu Adonai Eloheinu. Torat chayim ve'avat chesed u'tzedaka uvracha v'rachamim v'chayim v'shalom. Sim, sim, sim shalom. Sim shalom tova uvracha. Sim, sim, sim shalom tova uvracha. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. שים, שים, שים שלום. שים שלום טובה וברכה. שים, שים, שים שלום טובה וברכה.
We now take a few moments to continue in silence, to offer up the prayers of our own hearts, and to take a moment to breathe.
Adonai Suri, Adonai Suri, Bekoani.
now turn to Seder Kriyat Torah, our Torah reading service.
May my life be one link in a chain of goodness. As I say the prayers of my ancestors, help me to recall their devotion and faithfulness, their joy and suffering, which in every word, holiness is my heritage. May I be worthy of it. May our tradition live in me and pass from me to generations I shall never know, enriched by the truth that I have found and the good deeds I have done. So may I fulfill my task on earth and receive my blessing. And when the service ends and the prayers have ceased, help me to bring their spirit into the world in which I live. May I love God above all, and my neighbor as myself, and be a living witness to the truth that never changes. In this scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teachings is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it.
אין כמוך באלוהים אדוני ואין כמעשיך מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים וממשלתך בכל דור ודור אדוני מלך אדוני מלך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד Adonai oz lamo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Av harachamim heitiva virtzoncha et Zion. Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, Ki becha levad batachnu, Melech Elam v'nisa Adon olamim.
Jordan and Caitlin, in just a moment, you are going to take the Torah scroll in your arms, and you're going to receive that scroll from the generations who've come before you, just as our ancestors held it in their arms and passed it on to those who came after them for the last few thousands of years since we all stood at Sinai. So it is my pleasure to invite your great-grandmother, Sylvia Jaffe, your grandmother, Marcia Silverman, and your parents, Elisa and Jason Grodsky, up. And we know that your grandparents, Hetty and Al, wish they could be here with us, but they are absolutely here in spirit and are part of this chain of tradition that we pray does not stop with you. But please, as you take the Torah into your arms, commit to passing it along to all those who come after you.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Udevar Adonai Merushalayim, Su she'arim ra'shechem useu pidchei olam, V'yavo melech hakavod. Mihu ze melech hakavod, Adonai tzvaot, umelech hakavod, Selah.
And now we pass the Torah. It's not every B'nai Mitzvah service that we have a great-grandparent, so this is really an honor and a privilege.
Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah, לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. אחד אלוהינו, גדול אדוננו, קדוש שמו. גדול אדוני איתי, ולרוממה שמו יחדיו.
I now invite Aunt Jennifer and cousin Hannah Silverman to undress the Torah scroll.
לך אדוני הגדולה והגבורה והתפארת והנצח וההוד. כי כל בשמיים ובארץ, כי כל בשמיים ובארץ. לך אדוני הממלכה והמתנשא לכל ראש.
This Shabbat, we are in a double portion, Tazria Mitzorah, as we are not in a Jewish leap year. We're in the heart of the book of Leviticus, which has a lot of details about the rituals of the ancient Israelites, many of which we no longer practice. We want to be sure that the microphone is in place, so we'll be able to hear our B'nai Mitzvah. Fantastic. And you'll let me know when you found your spot so that we can begin in just a moment. But while the issues at hand literally do no longer speak to us, we'll hear from both Caitlin and Jordan how the themes of the portion very much are appropriate for where we find ourselves today. Have we found our starting point? Fantastic. Nala Amod, Mashallah Aliyah Harishona La Torah. For our first Aliyah to the Torah, we have the pleasure of inviting Marcia Silverman to the Dima.
Excuse me. Ready? Baruch Hu et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar ban Mekai Hamavim
V'natan lanu et Torato.
Baruch Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Ve'im baheret levanahi be'or besaro ve'amuk ein mareh hamin ha'or usara lohafach levan v'skir hakohen et hanegash v'yamin vera'ahu hakohen bayom hashvi'i v'nei hanega amar ve'yonam lofasha hanega be'or v'skiro hakohen shavat yamin sheni Bara'ah HaKohen Oto by Yom HaShvi'i Shabbat Ve'inei Kaya HaNega Lo Fashaha Nega Be'or V'tiharo HaKohen Mispachati HaKohen V'chives Begadav Ve'taher.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam l'atah v'chadenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Marcia, thank you so much for representing all four grandparents, 2 on Zoom and 1 in our hearts. And you actually get to stand to the left of your granddaughter in a place of honor as you prepare for our next Aliyah. Nala Amol, B'nei HaMitzvah Nechama Machla Mibet Yosef V'chava Sarah L'Aliyah Hashniya La Torah. For our second Aliyah to the Torah, we have Caitlin Gradsky.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amin v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ve'im paso tiseh hamizpachat be'or. Ve'im paso ha'areh. Ve'im paso hamizpachat be'or. Ha'areh. Sorry, I lost my spot.
You want to start at the beginning?
Yeah, I got it. Im pasok tiseh hamizpachat be'or ha'areh hira'oto el hakohen letorato v'nira sheni el hakohen v'ra'ah hakohen ve'inei pasta hamizpachat be'or v'timo hakohen sarati negat sara'at kitie begadam ve'uva el hakohen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chaye olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher Koach, that was fabulous. It is no small feat to read directly from the Torah scroll. We're going to pause in the middle of our Torah service for Mishiberach, our prayer for healing. It is our custom at Congregation Beth Chaim to name all those in our lives who could use a prayer for healing, whether that be healing of the body, healing of the mind, healing of the heart, or healing of the soul. Our friends on Zoom, please type as many names in the chat box as you would like. And our friends in the sanctuary, if you'd like to say out loud the names of loved ones, friends, and family. We want to also acknowledge all those in our world suffering from COVID-19, from violence, and from suffering of all kinds. We turn together to the words of Mishiberach.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Na la'amod, chavasara ve'yosel la'aliyah hashlishi la'torah. For our third aliyah to the Torah, we have Elisa and Jason Grodsky.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. V'hanotar Hashemen asher al ka'af hakohen yitain al rosh hamitaher v'hiper alav hakohen lifnei Adonai. Ve'asa hakohen et ha'chatat v'hiper al hamitaher mito mato ve'eharisha et ha'olah. Ve'hevi elah hakohen et ha'ohel ve'et haniha hamizbecha ve'hiper alav hakohen ve'taher.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chaye olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Na la'amod b'nei hamitzvah shena rivka mibet Yosef v'chavasara la'aliyah harivi'it la'torah. For our fourth and final aliyah to the Torah, we have Jordan Grodsky.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
V'imdahu bein yado aseket v'lacha kevesh ehad asham litnufa lahiper alav v'ishron soleh ehad balul v'shemen lamincha lo shamen ushte torim ushne b'nei yonah asher tasi yado v'hayo ehad hatat ve'ehad olah Vehevi otam vayom hashmani lehatorato hakohen el petach ohel moed lifnei Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher koach, fabulous job. Na la'amad, lahagbaha v'laglila. For the honor of lifting the Torah, we invite Uncle David Silverman up. For dressing the Torah, Aunt and Uncle Lynn and Howie Jaffe, and to hold the Torah during the Haftarah reading, great Uncle Mark Silverman. We ask everyone who is able to please rise. Okay, we got this. All right, Lisa and Jason, you're on spotting duty.
Oh gosh, where's Kaya? Do I just lift it? Dude, this is kind of heavy.
וזאת התורה שעשה משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la.
All right, Uncle Mark, you can either sit there, or if you'd like to be in the spotlight, you're welcome to stand at the table. As we turn to our Haftarah portion, everyone else is welcome to take a seat, as we're going to hear readings from the second book of Kings.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar b'nivim tovim v'rasa b'divrei ha'en amarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'torah u'Moshe avdo u'Yisrael amo u'b'nviei ha'emet v'tzedek. Ve'arba anashim hayu matzoraim petach asher vayomru Isharehu ma anachnu yoshvim hoadmatnu im amarnu navo ha'ir ve'av ba'ir v'matnu sham ve'im yashvanu fo v'matnu ve'ata lechu v'nivla el mechane aram im yachanu nihye ve'im v'matnu Vayakumu Vaneshef Lavo El Mechane Aram Vayovu Ad Kitse Mechane Aram Vene Ein Sham Ish Va'Adonai Hishmiya Et Machane Aram Kol Rechev Kol Sus Kol Hayu Gadol Vayimru Ish Alachiv Hine Zachar Aleinu Melech Yisrael Et Malchei Achitim Bet Malchei Mitzrayim Lavo Aleinu Vayakumu Vayanusu Vayaneshef Vayavu Et Oholehim Vet Sehim Vet Hamorehim Hamachane Kaasher Hi Vayanusu El Nasham Vayavou Hamitzorim Ha'ele Ad Ketse Hamachane Vayavou Elohel Echad Vayachlu Vayishtu Vayisu Misham Kesef Vezahav Gadim Vayalchu Vayaminu Vayashuvu Vayovau Elohel Acher Vayisu Misham Vayalchu Vayaminu Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam surka ha'alomim sadik bechol hadarot ha'el haneman ha'omer ve'oseh ha'vdabir u'mkayeh shechol devarav emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah v'hanvi'im al yom hashabbat hazeh, shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu, litushav limnecha lechafod utifaret. Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu modim la, mvarchim ota yiprashim cha, b'ficho chai tamid le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen. We ask everyone to once again to please rise as we return the Torah to her resting place. Thank you so much, Uncle Mark.
עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה ותומכיה מאושר דרכיה דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה חדש חדש ימינו חדש ימינו כקדם.
Please take a seat as we're about to hear some Divrei Torah, some teachings of Torah, first from Caitlin and then from Jordan.
The name of the Torah portion I chanted is Tazria, found in the book of Leviticus. The section of the Torah I chanted is about if you have a rash or discoloration on your skin, you report it to the priest and they inspect you. If the infection is deeper than the skin of the body, or if it is white, the priest pronounces the person impure. If the patch is not turned white and is not deeper than the skin on the body, the person isolates for 7 days. After that, if there is no difference, they isolate another 7 days. After that, if the infection has faded, the priest pronounces the person pure. One lesson that can be learned from the Torah portion is the importance of leadership. The priest is a leader, so he has to show his leadership in his community and make sure he can keep everyone safe. Being a leader could mean many things, like bringing people together, making sure everyone follows the rules, or teaching us what we need to know. The priest needs to make sure he can do all these things so that he is doing what he needs to do for the community. The priest is a lot like a teacher. Your teachers have to make sure they can give you a full education by teaching you what you need to know. They also have to make sure their students follow the rules. Their job can be hard at times, making sure they and others are doing the right things. This portion also reminds me of COVID, because when people get COVID, they have to isolate too. People have to take leadership role and do everything they can to try to get us out of this crisis. Both the priests in ancient times and the government leaders and doctors today have to lead their community and make sure they do everything they can to keep everyone safe. They have to make sure everyone is following the rules, like wearing their mask, staying 6 feet apart, and not coming too close in contact with people. People look to these leaders for guidance, especially when things are not normal. They need to set a good example and make sure people know what needs to be done to make sure we can get to a new normal soon. Becoming B'nai Mitzvah means to me becoming more involved in the Jewish community and being more responsible and mature. It is also a tradition in our family to become a bar bat mitzvah. Being Jewish is important to my family because it shows how the tradition is getting passed down. Now that I am becoming an official adult member of the Jewish community, I would like to try to attend more services and do more things on holidays like fast on Yom Kippur. Focus on the more religious aspects of Hanukkah and not just the gifts, and get more involved with my Jewish community. For our mitzvah project, we decided to help families who can't afford to pay for diapers. This is a situation that has gotten worse during the pandemic. We asked our friends and family to donate, and we collected over 80 boxes of diapers. We delivered them to home from last week. It made us feel really good to be able to help so many babies and their families. I would like to say thank you to Cantor Binder for helping me learn my prayers and Torah portion, the congregation for their beautiful gift, Rabbi Blum for helping me write and prepare this Devar Torah, my friends and family for coming to this service, and my parents for always taking care of me and making sure I am able to do all the things I love. The name of the Torah portion I chanted is Matzorah, found in the book of Leviticus. My Torah portion talks about how certain illnesses or medical conditions can lead to someone entering a state of impurity and how they can become pure again. In some cases, the priest can help someone become pure. For example, if a mother just gave birth, the priest leads a ritual for her to become pure again. In other cases, if someone was ill, they were required to stay away from others until they were healed. My Torah portion reminds me of how people need to quarantine because of COVID. Just like in ancient times when an ill person had to stay away from others, COVID has required people to stay away from others to protect the community. For example, a friend of mine had to quarantine because her friend tested positive for COVID. She even had to stay away from the rest of her family. In many cases, if you go out of state, you need to quarantine until you get a negative COVID test back. While these rules may seem unfair, the point is to keep the community safe. This is the case now, just as it was in ancient times. Of course, we all want to go out freely without wearing a mask, but that puts other people at risk. While quarantining might seem harsh, the point of it then and now is to keep others safe. Becoming B'nai Mitzvah means I am becoming more mature and can take on more responsibility. I'm taking on more responsibility at home by helping around the house with things like cleaning. I'm also starting to do things by myself, like cooking my own meals and sometimes cooking for the whole family. Becoming B'nai Mitzvah also means I can join in on Jewish traditions like fasting on Yom Kippur and being part of a minyan at Shiva. Another thing I can do to help in my community, for example, I can help younger kids with homework, or I can work on them with their softball skills. For our mitzvah project, Caitlin and I collected diapers for an organization called Homefront. We chose this as our mitzvah project because it made us really sad when we heard about kids whose families can't afford enough diapers to keep them clean and dry all day. Our friends and family were so generous that Caitlin and I were able to donate over 80 boxes of diapers. I would like to thank Cantor Binder for helping me and my sister learn our prayers and Torah and Haftorah. I would also like to thank Rabbi Blum for helping me prepare this Divar Torah. Thank you to the congregation for the beautiful gift. Thank you to my family and friends for joining this service. Finally, I would like to thank my parents for everything they do for me. I love you so much.
Jordan and Caitlin, it is my privilege to present you with these gifts from the Sisterhood, Men's Club, and Board of Directors of Congregation Beth Chaim.
Pull it up so everyone on the screen can see. Oh, other way.
It is an artist's rendering of your Torah portion. I hope this gift captures the beauty and complexity of our sacred teaching, and that you will remember the significance of this day whenever you view it. We have all been honored to have you lead our congregation in worship this morning. Becoming B'nai Mitzvah is an important step on your journey to Jewish adulthood. We look forward to celebrating with you again at the end of 10th grade when you are confirmed.
All right, you can put your gifts down and face this way. So I don't know if you remember when you first received the date for this special time and occasion. It feels like a lifetime ago, several years ago, when the process we used was the closest available Shabbat to your 13th birthday. And sometimes that randomness works out really well, that the portion you get assigned fits you really perfectly. Who would have thought back then that your ookie-gookie messy portion about illnesses, many of which were considered highly contagious, for which we had to isolate and quarantine, that you would chant that portion, that double portion, during a global pandemic? We know that today didn't look exactly how you imagined it just a couple of years ago, but I hope you realize that today has been incredibly beautiful. You have done a fabulous job, and we've been able to utilize technology to be together in a way that we could not have expected, so that we can still celebrate you. So many people who care about you are in that little box over there. But like I mentioned, it's a double portion. So in years where we don't have an extra leap month, there are some Torah portions that are a little shorter, they get smushed together. So how perfect that the two of you got a double portion so that each of you could have your own niche in the Torah, your own section of the Torah. And while there's a lot of overlapping themes, we are so excited to have a double portion of joy for the two of you today as you've gone through this together. As one of two sisters, I know it's not always easy to be together. I can only imagine that there's maybe bickering or fighting at home, maybe, if I had to guess, which is, of course, to be expected. But to watch you support each other through all of this, to hear you sing together, it was such an incredibly beautiful sound. I hope you continue to find ways to work together, to support one another, and to lift each other up, because what you've done in preparation for today has really reinforced this beautiful relationship that I feel that you share, and you can let me know later if I got it wrong. Each of you has your own unique gifts. I know, Caitlin, you shine on the dance stage, and I know, Jordan, that you shine on the softball field. But I hope that you continue to develop your own hobbies, your own passions, your own styles. But I know that you both have a smile that lights up the room. You've definitely made me laugh in our time together. So never lose your sense of humor, not taking things too seriously. Always feel confident in your own skin, which I know is usually clothed in a sweatshirt and sneakers. I understood you just the part for today, but I can only imagine that as soon as you get home, you're changing. And really just grow as you have over these last few years. It has been such a pleasure to watch you do so. May you always cherish your Torah portion, your accomplishments that led you to this day, and know that if you can do this, lead a service, mostly in a foreign language you don't speak, in front of lots of other people, there's really nothing you can't do. And so I hope that you take that sense of strength and dedication with you going forward. It's now my pleasure to invite Cantor Binder to share a blessing with the two of you, one that, just like the Torah itself, we have passed down from generation to generation.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you with good and give you strength. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May God be with you and be kind to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha. V'yasem lecha shalom, shalom. May you always know that God is close, and may God give you the gift of peace. Semen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, semen tov, mazel tov, semen tov, semen tov, mazel tov, semen tov, yehlanu, 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 ulecho Yisrael, yehlanu, yehlanu, ulecho Yisrael, yehlanu, yehlanu. Ulecho Yisrael, yehlanu, yehlanu, ulecho Yisrael.
I invite our family and friends on on Zoom, you're free to unmute as we shower them with our praise and congratulations.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. Mazel tov. Mazel tov. Mazel tov.
Congratulations, girls!
Mazel tov.
Beautiful. Mazel tov.
Beautiful.
Great job. They can't all hear this.
Wonderful job. Wonderful service.
Beautiful service. Wonderful.
Absolutely fabulous, fabulous service. Fabulous.
Mazel tov.
So proud of you.
Okay.
Okay.
Mazal tov to the Grodsky family, and our service will now continue with our concluding prayers.
We ask everyone who is able to please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל.
לתת יוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light. Long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved, their memories kept shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are stars, the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember.
I invite Jason now to share some words of memory for his father-in-law, Mordecai Silverman.
As we celebrate Jordan and Caitlin today, we mourn the loss of their beloved grandfather, Mordecai Silverman. There was nothing Grandpa Morty loved more than spending time with his grandchildren. When he was with them, nothing else mattered. He always knew the right thing to say and the right way to say it. He was so looking forward to this day. If he was here, he would be reminding us that it doesn't matter if there are 15 people in the room or 150 people. It doesn't matter if it's a big party or no party at all. What matters is watching his granddaughters reach this significant milestone in their lives.
In Morty's memory and the memory of all those who've gone before us, we join together in the hallowed words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadol v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlik malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon, v'chayei b'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kari v'imru amen. V'hei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'almei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal, shemei kudusha v'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim alenu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Zichronam livracha, may the memory of all of our loved ones be a blessing. I invite everyone to take a seat, except for the four Grodskys, as it's time to go get your juice and challah. As we turn to Kiddush and Motzi, Kiddush meaning sanctification, we're thanking God for the sanctity of this Shabbat day. And so you're going to pour the juice into the cups, bring it on over to the microphone so we can see and hear you, and grab your chalot. The fruit of the vine is the symbol of our joy, and we know that today our cup runneth over, and challah representing sustenance, without which we cannot do this important and sacred work. Whenever you're ready, you lift your Kiddush cups high and bless together.
Al Kain Barach Adonai et Yom HaShabbat Vayikadashehu. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen and l'chaim.
L'chaim.
Okay, and you can unwrap your chalot. When you're ready, just turn to the motzi.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lehem min haaretz.
Amen. You're welcome to munch on that challah while Cantor sings our closing song, our song of peace.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו
Amen. יעשה שלום.
יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום. Shalom Aleinu ve'alko Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'alko Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'alko Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'alko
Caitlin and Jordan, I imagine your family and friends are incredibly proud of you. On behalf of your Beth Chaim family, I want to say we are very proud of you. But most of all, I hope that each of you is proud of you and all you have accomplished. Thank you for celebrating with us today. Mazel Tov and Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.